Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Martial Master based on novel. So let's start. My sister was extremely grateful to each other, so she decided to give up her life as a slave and follow that person. That person was an upright gentleman. She didn't want her sister to be like this, but her sister was willing to follow each other and add fragrance to her red sleeves. My sister is super talented and smart and considerate. He actually captured the other's heart, and the other has a good brother. The three of them have a deep brotherhood and a very close relationship. With the help of that person, the sister created the top one in the mainland. Power, and that man's good brother also opened up the frontiers and built an empire in the martial domain. Are you talking about Pochen martial emperor Qin Chen? Chen Cece suddenly shocked. She looked at the illusory sovereign in shock. Everything that the other party said, she felt very familiar from the middle of the time. Hearing this, she suddenly woke up. This is not the deeds of the Emperor Wuchen, and who is it? Only the former Pochen Wu Huang had such an identity and status. In a word, the life and death of a big power was determined. Only Pochen Wu Huang helped his wife Shangguan 11 establish the Misty Palace, and let his brother Feng Xiaoyu establish it. Shenyuan Empire. It turns out that Shangguan 11 has been so vicious since childhood, murder and planting, and at a young age, she has already played with countless people. Sovereign Phantom Demon did not answer, but continued to tell. In the eyes of outsiders, the relationship between the three is very close, but no one knows that the reason why my sister will become the other's woman is just to use each other, everything, all. Sister's strategy: if you want to become the most powerful person on the mainland, you must step on the stepping stones one by one to reach the highest point. Although that person was one of the most noble and powerful people in the mainland, but because of his birth defects, he couldn't see the future at all. In terms of cultivation, he would never become the first person in the mainland, but he was his brother. Extraordinary talent, very likely. Become the top master in the mainland. So the sister secretly colluded with the other's brother, and in order not to arouse the other's suspicion, the sister asked her to pretend to be herself and accompany that person. After so many experiences, her heart is completely dead, and she has long regarded everyone in the world as the devil. Only the sister's words were regarded as truth. In her sister's eyes, the person who saved her sister was actually the same as countless people before, but only admired her face, so she didn't have any psychological burden to act with her sister. Although that person is the top genius in the mainland, he is really average in terms of emotional intelligence. Speaking of this, there was a hint of sweetness in the tone of the Phantom Demon Sovereign. The person didn't see it at all. Sometimes it was not his sister, but the younger sister who accompanied him, because that person was immersed in various studies every day, and forgot to sleep and eat. No one knows that the younger sister just wanted to complete her sister's task at the beginning, and she was arrogant with each other, but as she continued to get along, her younger sister found that the other person was a really good person. He never embarrassed anyone. He hated evil and always felt in his heart. There is justice in the distance, and most of his research is not for himself, but for the people of the world and the warriors of the world. After getting along for a long time, my sister was deeply moved by the other party and fell in love with each other deeply. Later, my sister even lived in a dream and didn't want to wake up, and even wanted to tell the other party that she was not sister, myself is another person. But she didn't dare to tell the other party the truth. She was afraid that once she said it, she would abandon her for the convenience, because the other party loved her sister. 2 lines of tears came from the corner of the eyes of Sect Master Illusion Demon with a muffled snort, blood overflowing from the corner of his mouth. How can the ruthless way be moved? Sovereign Illusory Demon smiled bitterly. My sister thought that although my sister was deceiving each other, she just wanted to be the first person in the mainland, so my sister fulfilled this lie for her sister, and even hoped that this lie will continue and never be broken. Sister. My sister was wrong. She underestimated her sister's ambition. From a young age, her sister became a person who could do anything for profit and strength. So when that person went deep into a secret realm that no one had ever entered before and got some heaven-defying treasure, the elder sister and that person's brother finally revealed their final faces, killing people and winning treasure. Haha. Illusory demon sect master smiled bitterly, with a stern laugh, but when the younger sister learned the news, the man had already fallen, and the younger sister was crazy to ask her sister why, but the older sister looked at her ridiculously and told sister, "This world is fundamental. There is no so-called sincerity. The contact and betrayal between people are all for the benefit. Sometimes the non-betrayal is not because of love, but because the benefits are not enough. My sister is crying. Is it because my sister cares about herself because of profit?" My sister laughed, and asked, "What do you think?" Since then, my sister has broken with her sister. My sister's heart is dead. Although she is still alive, she has become a living dead. She practices magic. Even I ruined my face because I looked exactly like my sister. She didn't want to see this disgusting woman again. The meaning of my sister's life is to avenge that person, to avenge the one she loves. Cece, isn't this sister very sad? She has never received true love, she has been living in a dream, she even feels that there is no true love in this world, and she does not allow her disciples and people around her to have love. The phantom sovereign was crying, with blood and tears behind the mask. Chen Cece looked at the illusory sovereign in shock, her eyes full of disbelief. When she got here, she had already heard that this older sister was Shangguanxie, so what about this younger sister? Master, are you Shangguanxie's younger sister? Chen Cece stepped back 2 steps, and the master turned out to be the sister of his enemy. At this moment, Chen Cece had a lot of thoughts in his mind, and thought of the conversation between the two of them when they fought Shangguan 11er before. No wonder the master knew so much about Misty Palace and Shangguanxie, she turned out to be Shangguan 11er's twin sister. Yes, my teacher's real name is Shangguan Wana. The phantom sovereign raised his head, looking at Chen Cece, looking at his beloved apprentice. She was luckier than herself and met a man whom she loved very much. This man even found herself for her, and the other person was a descendant of his. Sovereign Phantom Demon wished she had such love too, but she knew that all this was impossible. She knew why Cece became what she is now, in order to avenge Qin Chen, but Sovereign Illusory Demon knew that Qin Chen was not dead and was alive, but Cece did not know. She was going to tell Cece the truth, and she didn't want the pain to continue. If possible, she would let herself carry all the pain. Cece, actually. Master, don't say anything. Chen Cece shook her head and looked at Sovereign Illusory Demon in disbelief. She couldn't accept all this. The master turned out to be Shangguan 11er's twin sister, the sister who killed Qin Chen's murderer. Why is this so? She turned around and flew quickly to the depths of darkness, unable to accept this fact deep in her heart. Let's go. From today, you are no longer my master, and I am no longer your apprentice. There is nothing to do with you. Chen Cece said coldly. She couldn't accept to recognize Shangguanxie's sister as her master, no matter what the reason, she just couldn't accept it. Cece. Sect Master Illusory Demon said anxiously, but Cece didn't look back. He didn't give her a chance to speak at all, and disappeared into the darkness with a hum. No, the news that Qin Chen is still alive must be told to Cece, so Cece can't suffer anymore. Sect Master Phantom Demon gritted his teeth and hurriedly chased after him. In the endless darkness, Chen Cece ran wildly, her heart anguish. Her most respected master turned out to be Shangguan 11er's sister. Why is God so cruel? Suddenly, a light appeared in the endless darkness ahead, and then an altar appeared in front of Chen Cece. Chen Cece suddenly recovered from his grief, and looked at the altar. Above the altar, there was a black light. The surface of the light ball was densely packed with mysterious spells, which exudes people. The breath of palpitations, exuding. With a terrible breath. Is this what the Lord of the Abyss asked me to retrieve? Chen Cece woke up immediately, staring at the curse ahead. What is in the ball of light? Approaching the altar, Chen Cece felt a mysterious power rushing toward her face. She had a feeling that standing next to the ball of light was like standing in the middle of a rough sea. She would be swept out at any time. The power contained in it made Chen Cece discoloration, and this power with the supreme magic aura made her discolor. For some reason, Chen Cece felt a sense of anxiety inexplicably. This thing can make me break through the holy realm? She moved forward carefully. The Lord of Abyss Demons said that as long as she gets this thing, she can break through the holy realm, and she only needs to bring this thing to the Lord of Abyss Demon, which is equivalent to giving back to the Lord of Abyss Demon what she wants to do. Then no matter what, the Lord of the Abyss will not be dry. Thinking of Shangguan 11's strength before, Chen Xi's eyes suddenly became cold. In order to avenge Chen Shao, she can do anything, even the destruction of heaven and earth. It has nothing to do with her. In her heart, there was only Qin Chen. Chen Xi took a step forward and walked directly onto the altar. A wave of energy spread out, Chen Xi's heart throbbed, and felt the soul sea in her body tumbling and surging. The throbbing in the depths of the soul sea became clearer. She stepped to the light ball and watched with various mysterious spells above. In accordance with the reminder given by the Lord of the Abyss, he chanted a spell in his mouth to stimulate the power of the magic way, and his right hand suddenly touched the spell outside the light ball. Cece. At this time, the sovereign of the illusory demon also chased him, just in time to see the moment Chen Xi touched the ball of light. Boom! Suddenly, the curse on the black ball of light suddenly spun, and a terrifying breath spread out, turning into a black halo, and instantly blasted on Chen Xi. What? A black light was burning on Chen Xi, feeling that the bones of his whole body were about to be shattered. This kind of terrifying pain couldn't bear even Chen Xi's tough will. The beams of light were like thousands of fine needles, which pierced Chen Xi's whole body fiercely. The soul sea seems to be bombed. The Phantom Master who was watching Chen Xi in the distance saw Chen Xi's painful roar, and suddenly panicked. What's going on? What's wrong with Cece? Sect Master Phantom Demon hurried towards Chen Xi, but she just approached about 5 or 6 feet away from the altar, and with a bang, a powerful force knocked her out. She can't get close to this altar at all. But why can Cece go in? Is it to complete a certain task of the Lord of Abyss? Sect Master Phantom Demon was hit by a few black lights and injured in several places on her body, dripping with blood. Regardless of the pain on her body, she took out a sharp blade from the storage ring and swung the sword towards the black halo around the altar. Boom! Sovereign Phantom Demon was bounced away again. This power was not something she could resist at all, just the escaping black light had already seriously injured her. How serious should Cece in the center be? Bounced by that restraining force twice in a row. The soul sea of Sovereign Illusory Demon shook, and the internal organs were seriously injured. Cece is too naive. Is there any good intentions for people like Sect Master of the Magic Demon? Sovereign Phantom Demon felt instinctively uneasy. Cece, there must be no accident. She looked at Chen Xi anxiously. At this moment, Cece, who was in the halo, was full of steam, and the intense pain caused her internal organs to crack, and the black light actually transformed her body again. A breath of reincarnation kept surging in Chen Xi's body, and a source of power flowed through her body. Chen Xi felt like she was going to be crushed. She struggled desperately, knowing that as long as her consciousness relaxes a little bit, she will be blasted into residue by this terrifying force. Boom boom boom. Chen Xi's soul sea kept trembling and cracking, but it was constantly healing and repairing. The soul sea slowly formed a whirlpool, and a colorful light appeared, like a giant whale, constantly devouring the black light. Chen Xi had only the last trace of consciousness remaining, tightly guarding the soul sea. At this time, even she had deep doubts. What is the 5-color light hidden in her soul sea? Boom boom boom. With the continuous influx of black power into Chen Xi's body, the aura on Chen Xi's body also increased crazily, even crossing the boundary towards the holy realm. A mighty source of demonic energy lingered away. Sovereign Illusory Demon looked at Cece on the altar in shock. Cece was actually breaking through the holy realm. Did she guess wrong? There is no danger in this altar. Just a heritage. At this moment, between the world and the earth, the original aura of the magic path was lingering everywhere, and the Phantom Master was shocked to find that he had been stuck in the realm of the Semisage Peak, and there was a slight looseness. In shock, she ignored the inexplicable sense of crisis in her mind, and began to sit cross-legged and practice frantically. Boom boom boom. Under the origin of the magic path, the Phantom Master also started the impact of the Holy Realm. At this time, there was a void thousands of miles away from here. Qin Mo traced here all the way, but completely lost the traces of Chen Xi and the Phantom Master, The magical aura between heaven and earth has completely disappeared after so long. What can I do? Qin Mo frowned, lost the guidance of the spirit of the magic way. Asking him to find two people in this forbidden land was like looking for a needle in a haystack. But at this moment, suddenly, the chaos demon nest at Mo Qin's heart suddenly shook. There is something to attract the chaos nest. Qin Mo hurriedly turned his head and looked at the emptiness in the distance. He vaguely felt that there seemed to be some breath there, which suddenly leaked out and was sensed by the chaos demon nest. Qin Mo shook his body and hurriedly came to the vicinity of the void. After several searches, he finally found the specific location of the secret breath. This is due to the fact that Qin Mo has a chaos demon nest in his body, which is transformed from a parasitic seed, and at the same time, he has obtained the inheritance of the demon Tao of the Lord of the Abyss. These three can be achieved by the combination of such a weak demon Tao breath. It's him, even if it's one. The master of the holy land of the famous land came, and it may not be able to sense it. It's right under the ground. Qin Mo shook his body and immediately escaped into the ground. Boom, as soon as he entered, his body seemed to be replaced in two different spaces. The next moment, he had already arrived in a dark place, and a terrible demonic energy was here. Linger. Right here. Qin Mo looked into the darkness in surprise. There seemed to be someone passing by here just now. They must have been thinking about them, and in the darkness, a horrible aura of the origin of the magic way was madly dissipating. With ecstasy in his heart, Mo Qin hurriedly rushed towards the place where the aura of the magic way lingered. And when Qin Mo swept into the darkness, in the ancient battlefield, after Qin Chen grasped the rift Kong Shen Hen, he moved on. I don't know how long it took. Suddenly, a terrifying aura came forward, and the golden talisman paper suddenly glowed and appeared in front of Qin Chen again, and the golden talisman paper trembled slightly, guiding Qin Chen forward. Little Qin Chen, there seems to be something wrong with the breath here, you have to be careful. The ******* cat's solemn voice came. The void here has become extremely heavy. With Qin Chen's current cultivation base, walking here is like being trapped in a quagmire. If it were not for the protection of the golden talisman paper, he might have been trapped here. What exactly is this place? The weird air breath alone made it difficult for Qin Chen, who has a cultivation base of the mortal realm, to do anything. What is inside? Qin Chen's heart trembled, knowing that he should have reached a very critical place. The golden rune paper did not appear when he saw the cracked sky ***** mark before, but now it appears here, which is enough to explain. What? He continued to walk forward for a while, and suddenly, Qin Chen stopped, and a dark shadow appeared in front of him, like a sharp blade, which was inserted diagonally on the ground. What? As Qin Chen approached carefully, the dark shadow became clearer and clearer, and the expression on Qin Chen's face became more and more surprised. It was really a sharp blade, but it had been cut off, leaving only a section. There are gaps everywhere on the broken blade. It can be seen that it was a war knife at the beginning, with a faint cold light, but after an unexplained fierce battle, only half is left. It is inserted diagonally here, the most important thing. Yes, under this broken blade. A trace of weird breath of time flows, and this trace of breath of time continues to linger, dissipating in the void. It is this escaping breath of the years that drifted away, forming the vortex of years at the previous entrance. There is a force of time haunting the world. What happened? Why did the golden rune paper guide him here? And this broken blade actually exudes the strength of the years. Can it be said that the aura of the years in the Forbidden Land is all from this broken blade? But the ***** cat said that it can radiate the power of time, and this divine Forbidden Land is very likely to have the origin of time, but this broken blade has no appearance of the origin of time at all. Qin Chen came closer, buzzing. The broken blade suddenly made a wave, and a void war knife appeared in the void. This war knife reached the sky, as if it could cut through the heavens and the earth. The momentum was too terrifying, and it slashed towards Qin Chen. Not good. Qin Chen was shocked. The aura released by this sword phantom was too powerful, more than 100 times stronger than Chen Yuanliang before. Under this blow, Qin Chen seemed to have seen the opening of the world and the universe. Destroy. If this knife is cut, Even if it is just a breath left over for hundreds of millions of years, he will be cut into nothingness, and there is no room for resistance. At the critical moment, the golden talisman paper suddenly glowed and soared into the sky. A golden light stopped in front of the void saber. With a bang, the two forces collided and immediately stopped the void saber. Hum! The golden talisman paper glowed, endless fighting spirit boiled, and ancient characters appeared on it one by one, and the broken blade also trembled. The two sides confronted each other like prehistoric opponents. In the void, a golden sky-reaching rune phantom appeared, and on the opposite side was a magnificent war knife phantom. The rays of light rushed straight for 90,000 miles, permeating the supreme chaos aura. Above the notch of the war knife, golden light began to emerge, which was exactly the same as the breath of the golden rune paper. On the golden rune, there were also scratches. These scratches Qin Chen had never felt before, but now they appear. It also exudes the same killing aura as the broken blade in front of him. Qin Chen couldn't help but opened his mouth. Could it be that this golden talisman paper and this broken sword ever fought against each other? And left marks on each other? Moreover, the reason why this sword was broken was that it was cut off by this golden rune paper. Otherwise, how to explain the power of the golden runes exuding at the moment of the broken blade of the war knife? Not impossible. This golden rune paper has an extraordinary origin, even far surpassing ordinary sacred weapons. It is obviously an extremely terrifying thing in ancient times, and this broken blade, which has been left in the Forbidden Land for hundreds of millions of years, also has an extraordinary origin. The two may not have nothing before. Entanglement. The sacred instrument has an aura, but this spirit refers to a psychic and has a certain autonomous brand. In many cases, a complete consciousness cannot be born, but the battles in the previous life can remain in the sacred instrument for a long time. Imprint. At this moment, two tall ghosts appeared behind the golden rune paper and the destruction sword. These are two figures, they can't see their faces and appearances at all, but the breath they exude is shocking forever. This is the breath of the Holy Lord, the ****** cat said suddenly. What? Qin Chen was shocked. With the aura of the Holy Master, these two figures are the Holy Master. Wait, how could a Holy Lord appear in Tianwu continent? Is this the picture of the most terrifying battle in the Forbidden Land? Qin Chen remembered clearly that the Supreme Sword Emperor once said that countless years ago, because of a treasure, countless celestial masters descended on the Tianwu continent. A fierce battle took place here, and even the Tianwu continent was almost destroyed. When? The heart of the battlefield. So the treasure of the year is still here? Qin Chen's heart jumped wildly. Where is the treasure? Qin Chen's heart beat wildly. The battle in the Tianwu continent in the previous life was actually related to the Saint Master level masters. What kind of treasure did they compete for back then? Is it the origin of time? No wonder this golden rune paper is so powerful that it can even withstand the vortex of the years, a treasure of the Holy Master level. Of course it is a cow fork. However, Qin Chen could feel that this golden talisman paper had suffered a huge trauma just like this broken blade, otherwise it would have only a little power. It should be the artifact spirits in the two treasures, sensing each other, instantly activating, and fighting against each other. However, I still don't understand why this place is filled with such a strong force of time. This broken blade is clearly just a precious soldier. How can it emit such a strong force of time? Qin Chen touched his chin. A little unsure. White. I understand. The ***** cat said suddenly. Okay. The most precious source of time between heaven and earth should be here, and it should be under this broken blade. The ***** cat said in a deep voice. What? Qin Chen was surprised and happy. He heard the ***** cat say that the origin of time is an extremely mysterious treasure between the heavens and the earth, and it is extremely rare even in the heavens. If you master the origin of time, it is possible to master the most terrifying time rules between the heavens and the earth. Time is the most important rule in the world. It contains 3 changes: past, present, and future. A strong person with time rules can control time. What a terrible ability is this! Among the strong at the same level, they have mastered the strongest space rules, which can be said to be the strongest at the same level, but only the strongest, and mastered the time rules, but can achieve the same level of spike, because the mysterious time rules still be above the air. Above the rules. The origin of time, even the power of the Holy Master of the heavens, may not be able to control it. The battle that took place here hundreds of millions of years ago, the two Holy Masters are very likely to compete for the power of the origin of time, because the origin of time is the precious source of heaven and earth. In fact, the rules of time are also the most terrifying rules of heaven and earth. If you master the rules of time, even if you enter the heavens in the future, you will have the capital to look down upon the heroes. The ***** cat seemed very excited. If the source of time is really here, if you don't absorb it, it is tantamount to violent heaven. Are you so kind? Qin Chen looked at the excited ***** cat, somewhat suspicious. This is not like the ***** cat. If the origin of time is really so awesome, it is a top treasure, why didn't the ***** cat grab it? This guy is the one who sees money open. Damn, kid Qin Chen, what do you think of this emperor? Is this emperor such a cat? The ***** cat was furious, as if he had been insulted. Like, very similar. Qin Chen nodded, solemnly. The ***** cat vomited blood, almost frantic, and then wilted again. His meow, to tell you the truth, if you want to absorb the origin of time, it is also conditional. In this Tianwu continent, only the sons of the plane who have been recognized by the world can be recognized by the origin of time, and you happen to have the origin of the world. Recognize, otherwise you thought how could this golden rune paper bring you here? If I guessed correctly, the master of this golden rune paper should be a master born from this Tianwu continent. The ***** cat sighed. The son of the plane is so awkward. Qin Chen didn't expect that there would be such an appearance. No wonder the ***** cat didn't do it because it didn't have the qualifications to swallow the origin of time. Nonsense, or what do you think? The ***** cat didn't give Qin Chen face at all. Do you think that Tianwu continent is a lower plane, so being a child of the plane has no effect, even because it can only absorb the origin of this world? To break through. Still feeling very depressed and restrained. Isn't it? Qin Chen wondered. He didn't have the kind of contempt that the ***** cat said, but he could only absorb the original breakthrough of this piece of heaven and earth, and it did bring him some trouble. If it weren't, he would have been able to cross it. Entering the Holy Realm, I encountered Ling Luling and other heavenly heights before. You don't have to be so embarrassed when it comes to hands. Stupid. The ***** cat sneered. If I guess right, Tianwu continent is definitely not an ordinary plane. How do you say? Tianwu continent's plane level is actually the weakest lower plane among the 10,000 realms, and it is even weaker than that of the alien demon continent. Such a lower plane, there are tens of millions in the universe, very small. But think about what happened on the Tianwu continent. Everything, especially the wars that have erupted, you will find that the Tianwu continent is not simple. First of all, the first unreasonable place is the treasure that the heavenly powerhouses fought for. Treasures that can drive countless powerhouses in the heavens mad are absolutely the top treasures in the heavens. Such treasures must have spirits. How can they be willing to enter the most humble lower plane? This is one of them. Secondly, even if the treasure finds the smallest lower plane for some reason, it has attracted countless masters of the heavens. It is certain that at least there are masters of the Holy Master level, but the Tianwu continent has not been blow up. The ***** cat's eyes flickered coldly. Perhaps you don't know the power of the Holy Lord, that is also the master of the great power in the heavens. Between the fingers, the void collapses. To tell you the truth, even a continent like the world of demons cannot withstanding the bombardment of the Saint Master level master. The breath of the Saint Master level master entering the alien demon continent was enough to make the heavenly Tao of the alien demon continent unbearable, but the Tianwu continent resisted it, and under such a big battle. It's not destroyed, don't you think it's weird? And thirdly, The owner of this golden rune paper now seems to be the Holy Master born in Tianwu continent, but do you think the Holy Master was born so well? In the heavens, the strong are like clouds, and those who can become the Holy Lord are the top heavens. The arrogant. Although the people in the lower planes can ascend to the heavens, after entering the heavens, they are actually the most ordinary warriors in the heavens, especially the planes like the Tianwu continent. According to common sense, after ascending, they can break through the holy realm. It's already pretty good, but among the ascendants of the Tianwu continent, a master-level master was born, and depending on the appearance of the Forbidden Land, it is very likely that more than one master-level master was born, a small lower plane. How can such a saint be born? Master. This is the third. Of course there is a fourth point, the Lord of the Deep Demon in the Thunder Sea. This is also the biggest doubt. The Abyss Demon race is also the top race in the heavens. How can it easily come down to a lower plane? All this is a coincidence. And too many coincidences can't be called a coincidence, but there must be a reason. The ****** cat looked very positive. What's the reason? Qin Chen looked over. I suspect that the Tianwu continent, it is very likely that it was the beginning of the creation of chaos, and it was one of the first continents formed in the 10,000 realms. The ***** cat made a loud noise, telling a big secret. This video will end here.